All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to talk about building a brand from the absolute ground up. And I'm not talking about the fun stuff like logos and colors. Not yet. We're talking about the blueprint, the foundation that decides if your brand is built to last or if it's going to sink the moment things get tough. So let's get started.
I love this quote because it just nails the single most expensive mistake that so many businesses make. You can have the most beautiful website, the slickest logo, but if there isn't a solid strategy underneath it all, it's completely worthless. You're just building a mansion on a swamp.
So let's get this straight right from the beginning, because this is where a lot of people get tripped up. Think of it like this. Your brand is the soul. It's that gut feeling people have about you. The identity is the body. It's all the visual stuff, the colors, the fonts that you use to express that soul. And the logo? That's just the face. You have to start with the soul. Without it, the body is just an empty shell.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to start by looking way beyond the logo. Then we'll get into defining the very heart of your brand. We'll talk about vision, mission, and values. Then give your brand a real personality. And finally, we'll figure out how to turn that abstract strategy into a practical system you can actually use every day.
First things first, we really need a mindset shift. Brand strategy isn't just some creative exercise you tack on at the end. No, it's a core business function that should be driving everything from day one. And this is the key skill we're building today. This is the goal. By the time we're done here, you'll be able to actually architect a brand strategy where what you want to achieve as a business and how you show up in the world are perfectly in sync. I'm telling you, this is the skill that separates the brands that last from the ones that are just a flash in the pan.
And if you need a reason why this is so important, here it is. This isn't about making things look pretty. This is about performance. Companies that are design-driven, the ones that build their mansion on that solid foundation, they don't just compete, they absolutely dominate. That 228%, that's not an accident. That's the return on investment of doing this work right.
Okay, so let's start building that foundation. We're going to go right to the center of it all, the brand heart. You can think of this as your internal compass, or maybe even the source code for your entire organization. Every single decision you make should come from here.
So the brand heart has 5 key pieces. Your purpose, that's your why. Your vision, that's where you're headed in the future. Your mission, that's what you're doing right now. Your values are your non-negotiables, and your personality is how you act along the way. Now, each of these is super important, but let's zoom in on the 3 that get mixed up the most: vision, mission, and values.
Right. Our goal in this section is to rescue these words from becoming meaningless corporate jargon. We're going to give them sharp, distinct meanings so you can actually put them to work.
It all starts with this, the most fundamental question of all. Forget about making money for a second. Why do you really exist? This is your brand purpose.
Your purpose is that big philosophical reason for being. It's emotional. Just look at Patagonia. Their purpose isn't to sell high-quality jackets. It's, we're in business to save our home planet. See the difference? Every single thing they do gets filtered through that lens. A purpose like that doesn't just get you customers, it gets you true believers.
Now, this is where a lot of people get confused, but it's actually pretty simple when you break it down. The vision is that big, aspirational dream for the future. Think of Tesla wanting to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. The mission, on the other hand, is what you're doing today, boots on the ground, to make that happen. So vision is the destination, mission is the car you're driving to get there.
And this is so important. Values can't just be words you put on a wall. They have to be actions. Zappos is the classic example. They don't just say they value commitment. They literally offer new hires $2,000 to quit after training. Why? Because it weeds out anyone who isn't all in. Your values should cost you something. If they're easy, they're probably not real values.
Okay, so once that strategic card is locked in, now we can start to give it some character. This is where we create a personality and a voice that lets your brand connect with people like a real human being, not some faceless corporation.
This is a really great framework to help you think about this. Most powerful brands really lean into 1 or 2 of these dimensions. So, are you sincere and wholesome, like Hallmark, or are you all about excitement and daring, like Red Bull? The key is to pick the 1 or 2 that feel most authentic to your brand's purpose. That choice will then guide everything, your tone of voice, your design, everything.
Here's a little exercise for you, and it's super helpful. If your brand walked into a party, who would it be? Is it Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, powerful, motivating, full of energy? Or is it Morgan Freeman, wise, trustworthy, calm, and reassuring? This simple question suddenly makes the idea of personality feel real. It helps your whole team get on the same page, because everyone knows The Rock would never say that.
All right, we're at the final and maybe most crucial step.
This is where we translate that abstract soul we've defined into a real, tangible, practical system. This is how you make sure your brand shows up the same way everywhere, every time.
This is your strategy made real. A good brand toolkit is so much more than just your logo. It includes things like distinctive assets. Think of the Intel chime or the unique shape of a Coke bottle. It lays out the exact rules for your fonts. It gives the specific color codes for print and web. These aren't just picky rules. This toolkit is like the conductor of an orchestra, making sure every single piece of your brand is playing in perfect harmony.
And why does all that matter so much? Because consistency isn't about being boring, it's about being reliable. And when people see you as reliable, they start to trust you. And trust, well, trust drives revenue. That 23% number isn't a guess. It proves that a brand that is consistent isn't just more memorable, it's literally more profitable.
And that really brings us to the final question you need to ask yourself. Is your brand just a coat of paint you slap on at the very end, or is it the fundamental blueprint you use to build the entire business from the start? Because the answer to that question will determine everything about your future. Always